loving, bonding, perfect union of total serenity and love and sharing, and all of your defenses and your guard is down, and you feel the comfort and well-being and holding and sharing in the relationship I have with Beniko, this non-human intelligent person, this girl. As a starseed, I know that I can remember a past life, having lived in another world, being another race, looking up into a sky with a bright star much further away but much hotter, much larger than the sun. A Cretaceous-looking world, being a reptilian. These memories have been there my whole life. Remembering the name Valaric. It seems so long ago. And embracing this life, my humanity, is a very precious thing to me. I don't say I'm an alien to eliminate the human of me. I don't do that. I embrace. What does it mean to be human? When you don't have a human soul, what does that mean? Because the Hindus do believe in that there's this beings that come down into babies and live inside the human bodies. And some believe that they share the body with the baby and the human soul, and the two together exist. That the question in the past was, is there a human soul in me, or just an alien soul, non-human soul? That's interesting. We were studying and thinking about these sorts of things in the group called Starseeds.net, which no longer exists. The Starseed movement itself was squelched and knocked out years ago. It was taking a lot of beating and bashing from unknowns. If it's the intelligence community, going around saying that you have an alien soul in your body seemed to aggravate these people more than anything. And it was something they were very much against. And the founder of the page reported that she had been hacked many times. She had to finally shut the page down, shut the website down. It wasn't so much that people were saying to the public, hey, public, we're aliens in human bodies, that aggravated them. I know that the intelligence community, from what we've learned, are fully aware that aliens are not visiting this planet. They are living on this planet. They share this earth with you. They're all around us. And they lack the ability to have telepathy at long distances. Unless there's a special connection, like Beniko and I have, telepathy at long distances can't be done. They have special contracts that forbid them from having contact with just anybody in the human race right now. So they want and will have contact with people of starseed origins. In other words, human beings that have a very special non-human soul in them that has come down here to live as a human. That does not violate the special contract. Okay, they can deal with you if you are a starseed. starseed. And so people began to notice back in the day, 2010, 2011, 2012, the more they spoke and said to the group and to the public, I'm a starseed, I have a non-human soul, the more they noticed the contact with UFOs increased in their lives, the more contact they had when they went to UFO conferences and made those statements. What's happening? Well, again, they live here on Earth, and they have an advanced technology, but there are limitations to what they can do with their minds. So what they have is the technology to receive internet Wi-Fi. Your internet in the 21st century is wireless. Your mobile phones, the device I'm using, it's gone wireless. It's just radio waves, and they can detect that. And since they live on Earth permanently, in areas beneath the sea and out in the underground in places, they are picking up everything on the internet. They're observing everything, even these videos. And so the movement to squelch the Starseed movement was a vigorous one. It was extremely vigorous. In fact, I go to say Starseed even in these videos. There are going to be people throwing a firestorm of attacks on these videos in an attempt to get them down. And get them down quick, because they know that these beings are watching. And they don't want everybody having that contact with them. Primarily simply because you're dealing with intelligences with a higher advanced technology than the United States of America. And they don't want individuals having contact with beings that can outsmart the U.S. government, and the Russian government, and the British government, and these kinds of governments. They get very agitated with this. Because they don't have that technology. And they know that these beings are picking up all of our Wi-Fi. They're seeing all of your porn, all of your other videos. Everything is being detected. Everything is being seen and watched and observed. They see it. They know it. Your private chats on WhatsApp may be encrypted, but they've seen them. They've observed everything. Well, there's no issue with having contact with... Now, that doesn't mean you can just say, I'm a starseed, and they're going to come knock on your door. Are you? I've had memories since childhood, since the 1970s, of living on another world, being an entirely different, living, breathing being. It had nothing to do with the human race. And I was completely aware of my surroundings. These are memories that I can recall, I can look at, over and over again. So when that was I can't tell you how many, even I did. There were a lot of times that when we went out, even on Facebook, we spoke openly. Does it make you any less valid if you go openly public about your connections and contacts with alien contacts and visitations and things like that? Why should it? Why should it? Why should it make it any less real or valid? Why should that person that decided and chose to go public be less credible than the one that said, I'm going to keep it to myself? What's the difference? So what? So, you said it. There are people all the time that run around and spout that they believe angels are real. They've seen angels. Does that mean their faith in God or Jesus or their Muslim faith is any less credible and real? Or that their experiences of what they claim to have seen are less real because they went public in a church and shared it? How would that be if that same thinking was applied to your churches, where you are expected to get up in front of a pulpit and share to the public openly your experiences with God? your experiences with Jesus, your walk with Christ, what you saw. There are many faiths that require you to stand up and publicly spout, share, share, share. In fact, even in the Christian faith, that if you do not stand up in front of a congregation and say to that congregation your belief in Jesus, or that your experiences and your faith, and you don't say this, that you won't be saved. They'll even quote Scripture. They'll say this to you. Their interpretation of Scripture, they'll say that you've got to publicly announce your faith and before this, that, and the other. Well, I'm not touting a faith or religion here, but there has been this debate. This has been thrown around by counterintelligence operatives that will throw that out there. Well, I'm an experiencer. I've painted these paintings, or I've drawn these things, and let me tell you something. I keep it to myself. I know something. So because you're talking, it's attention seeking. You're looking for approval, some likes on your YouTube video, some subscribers. I say what I say as a school teacher would to students. My process is an educative process. I'm the researcher, I'm the experiencer, and I'm the teacher that brings it to the class. I'm not a guru. I'm reading from a textbook handed to me, i.e. my photographs, infrared photos, and audio recordings, things of this nature. Now, some people have drawn very highly accurate paintings of alien hybrid children and done a very good job of that, while never going to the public and indicating they've ever seen them. Well, I'm not one of those people that needs to draw them. I can present photos of them I've taken. I've gone to the forest. I've seen them. I've taken the photos. And they look identical to some artists' paintings. What comes up in my photos is identical to what some alien artists have drawn. Okay. And I've got audio recordings, EVPs, and things of this, where I have a girl saying, "My name is Beniko. I love you, Jason, and you will come with me. We will be together." Do I need to draw these things? No, I don't. Do I need to sit down at the canvas and paint them? No. Don't have to. Don't have to. I've got photos. I can just present my photos and say, here's what I was given. The Starseeds' role is as the teacher on any planet when they've arrived to live, as indigenous beings from that world, coming from another world. Will always be breaking the no contact contracts, the contracts of zero contact, which will always be in place when we arrive. Starseeds, in the second sense, is a genetic person that has DNA, not human. May or may not. Probably, mostly in those cases, they'll have human souls. Mexico has a very high number of starseed children living in it today that we have documented, has been talked about, has been seen since the late 1990s. They have come about. So there are two kinds. And so when a starseed arrives to a world, it arrives in a time when others have arrived to that world at the same time into this world, in a life, in a generation, in a period where when they grow up, they will coincidingly be speaking around the time others will be speaking, and they will be sharing their contact, because they play the role of teachers in a time when the aliens have a contract of no contact with the indigenous population of that world, their presence then will always be the open door, the crack open, to allow the information to come through for that public of that world at the time, and to help raise awareness and help teach. So, sole purpose of the activity that we do in talking has nothing to do with attention seeking or approval ratings. It is simply a teaching that we are one of many that do this. Even if the websites have been hacked and taken down, even if the movement itself has been squelched on the level of a public point, all that's happened is that they've succeeded in getting the Starseeds from stop saying you're Starseed, but they've gone back to just doing UFO research. But again, as I said earlier, you have to take away the term visitor and put in the word cohabitant, because they're not visiting this planet. They live on this planet as much as you do. And they have the technology to see all of our Wi-Fi, all of these videos I put out, everything you're putting out, porn, news, anything. It's all being picked up because your internet is completely Wi-Fi. You have a wireless internet around this planet, and they live here, and they're picking everything up. They're seeing this. And anybody that ever said Starseed was always getting contact. It's not because they said it, they got the contact. It was, they would say it, and these beings would investigate. Is their contact? Is that a Starseed? And then they would find out, yes or no. They know how to do that. But they lack the ability to have long-distance telepathy. So it's more in the same room telepathy. They do not have the technology, a console or device that can read a soul or brain over there in that corner in California somewhere, or over in France, and say, oh, you're one of them. They don't know that. So it was kind of a whistleblowing when the time came of the awakening in 2010. Many of us began to go public, and even in private places, it didn't matter. We're Starseeds, and that was the call out, and then they heard that. And then the contact with us became more active because they can see the internet. They can do, and it's been Wi-Fi for a long time. So the intelligence community, we know that also. So there's also a need to squelch and silence a lot of us because they know that they need to shut up those people from that dialogue, because you're leaking information to the ones that live here that are non-human intelligences. It's like you're watching the video, they're seeing the video. They're watching the video. They're not subscribed in the sense of an account in that regard. There was a man recently that told a lady, he went into my Facebook page and he saw a conversation that had been typed out between Benico and myself. The title of these notes said, Channeled Medium Psychic Contact. I was typing out everything I felt her telling me into my notes. This gentleman made the claim, well, that's not Benico, that's Jason typing that. Well, what was his reason for saying that? Well, he said, well, because Benico doesn't have a Facebook account. Well, of course she doesn't. I never said she did. I never made the claim there was any account. I did say this was a channeled medium psychic information, and I was the one typing out what I've heard or felt her saying. But channeled psychic medium stuff is not something everyone knows about. So this is someone that has a bit of ignorance about that subject matter. Maybe an extremely bright person in computers, but lacking any intelligence in the area of that subject matter. And it is something that the government and the CIA have declassified thousands of documents detailing their research in channeled medium psychic research and the use of it for gaining covert and counterintelligence and intelligence in other countries. Not that they tried it and failed, they tried it with success. And it's because it was successful, they've gone on to do it. We know the Nazis did it. And the Nazis themselves believed in just that very thing, in gaining higher technology to beat the Allies. They had a program called the Vril Society, V-R-I-L, Vril Society, where they believed that they could get intelligence and information from an alien race they felt they were talking to, and build better, smarter weapons. And in fact, they did have smarter, faster weapons. And this kind of stuff, they called it channel mediumship. And these are high-ranking Nazis that were dealing with Hitler directly, that believed firmly in this, because they saw the success in it. Look, the Nazis weren't the kind of people, evil, but were they going to waste their time when they're facing the whole world fighting them? The Russians, Americans, they were the kind of people that went out and said, if it works, we're going to keep doing it. When the war was over, these Nazi scientists and these channel mediums went over to America under Project Paperclip. And the scientists that began building the rocket program, Werner von Braun, was dealing directly with former Nazi officers who he talked to that were in fact channel mediums, that they said they were speaking to aliens. Not the same race of Benico and the others, but there's lots of different races. So this is not new, this isn't brand new. Derilenka channels Bashar is not brand new. In the last 25, 30 years he's been doing it. This has actually been going on, has been known about for over 75 years. And it has been something that has been very seriously taken as a serious point of research in contact with another non-human intelligence race since the 1950s in America. We know that from declassified documents. So it's been ongoing. It's something that, one, you find out they exist, they're here, they're in the area. You can channel them. Channeling and mediumship is not telepathy in that sense. It is someone who's trained to do it, and if there's a telepathic alien local within about 1,000 miles or nearby or somewhere in another dimension somewhere that they are able to communicate and have that contact with. And Benico and I have that special connection that we can do that. And so I went out and began typing out what I felt she was saying and put this on my wall. I make assumptions that are wrong. I say that people understand ahead of time that that's a channeled medium note, and I put it on my wall. Jason's a psychic medium. Okay, they don't make that distinction. And they said, no, I don't know. It's him typing that. Because she doesn't have an account. Why would an alien girl have a Facebook page? Well, that would be interesting. That would be incredible if she did. Wow. I would like that. That would be remarkable. It would be beautiful. No, she doesn't have to have a page. They can tap the internet. They can see what's being said. There's still too much primitive focus, out-of-date focus on that old scientific thinking from Dr. Drake, from the SETI Institute from the 1960s, when Carl Sagan and Frank Drake and Dr. Shostak of the Search for Extraterrestrial Intelligence and Jill Tarter, they were all running around saying, aliens are picking up our signals from our radio and TV. Well, that's back when radio and TV was the only thing around. And that's making the assumption that aliens are thousands of light years away. Know that they're here and reside on Earth. And now the internet is also Wi-Fi of the last 25 years. It's been Wi-Fi. Now you're going to find out the fact that they're just picking up everything on the internet. Every signal, every email, everything you put online, all your Facebook posts, all of your YouTube, every comment put under my videos is watched and analyzed by them. The mantids see this. The alien-human hybrids see this. What you call the Zetas, which are in the middle, they see this. they all are watching you, and they're seeing every single thing put out there. And as I started this video, there's that loving, warm, compassionate connection with her, I experience every day. And it's wonderful to talk about and share openly, and to bring you, and it's just beautiful. She's beautiful. Our love is beautiful. She is the golden ray of light, the warm, glowing light within my soul that emanates peacefully and silently and illuminates me. It is a living, present time love in the now, not in the past, but in the now. The greatest accomplishment of my life, one of the greatest accomplishments aside from becoming a father, is that we reestablished that one-on-one contact here, face-to-face contact, in 2018. Beautiful, everlasting beautiful. She is so beautiful. A love so sweet, so serene, so protecting and nurturing. I am very happy standing in the presence of her light, of her love that she shines and gives me, and I share with her openly, sweetly, total and absolute beautiful surrender, giving, receiving, all your defenses, your guard, wiped away for perfect clarity of one and other. That we see each other inside. I can see her in the forest, she can see me, but we're looking inside each other in perfect crystal clarity, each other's sweet, perfect, beautiful love. And all that matters is inside, here and here. And in me, she sees herself standing here. And in her, I see me standing there. You are not alone. All of you, listen. And it's wonderful. You have relatives. You, human race, you have relatives. You have cousins who love you and watch you and care for you at a distance. Know of your troubles, your sorrow, and the things that hurt you. I've seen every data bit, every byte, everything ever put online, all of it. No exception. All of it. All the suffering, all the porn, the hurt for each other, all these issues, and all the good stuff too. And I've seen everything. With ever increasing compassionate